Hello, I'm Vane and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is all about an introduction into goth fashion and the goth subculture, but this is mostly going to be fashion based because that's mostly what my channel is, even though I love the music and I do share it in my videos and shorts. But this is specifically to help babybats get into the fashion side, and I'll give my recommendations for music too, but this is for babybats who already know the music, or they're getting into the music, they know enough of the music, and they want to learn how to start getting into the look. And I'm here to help. And I do have a video that I made months ago, kind of the similar idea of the basics of goth dressing, but it's specifically catered toward mask presenting people. So this one is a little more for feminine presenting. I do both styles. Doesn't really matter what you do in goth, but this is just, if you're interested in this type of style, then hopefully this video will help you. So, like I said in the beginning, the music is one of the most important parts of the subculture. It's a music-based subculture, so it's important to know some bands and genres before you really try and delve into the fashion, because you won't really understand a lot of the fashion choices that we make if you don't know the bands and the music. Basics are that goth is an umbrella term, and under the goth label there's many different genres and bands, and the staples are things like goth rock, death rock, dark wave, ethereal wave, cold wave. Those are basics in genres. My personal favorite is ethereal wave. You'll find a lot of my music recommendations in my shorts, meaning my short videos. So in my short videos, because I can use whatever songs I want without copyright issues, so that's what I do. But I think if I really plan a video, I can make a video trying to recommend some bands and stuff. But like I said, this is a fashion related video, and how to get into goth fashion without getting stuck into the trap of fast fashion and buying too much at once and having the idea that you need to look goth the second you get into it. So, here's a little backstory for me. I started listening to goth music in 2012, and I had no idea it was goth music. So I had seen goth in movies and stuff. I hadn't really seen it in real life. I grew up when emo was popular, and I got into emo stuff, some music and fashion, and I liked it, but I never really got that much into it. So, I got out of it. I never really considered myself an emo, but I really loved the dark style, and ever since I was a kid, I was really into dark things, gothic things. My cat's meowing. So I always had this thing about me where I just, I'm darkly inclined. So that's why when I was a child, I was really into dark music already. I was homeschooled, so I wasn't around subcultures or anything other than emo because it was so popular. I didn't really get to experience anything like that. So in 2012, I had a Last.fm, and I would just listen to the radio on there and just find all kinds of music, and I discovered Echo and the Bunnymen, and I was really obsessed with them, and I listened to them a lot. And then I got obsessed with Bauhaus, and then I went and I listened to Love and Rockets and Tones on Tail, and just kept going, and Susie and the Banshees, and I just kept listening to stuff like that, not even thinking about goth subculture because I had no idea it was a music-based subculture. And that's on the 2000s for being very visual-based, honestly, and it's been a problem for a long time now. I would thrift. I've thrifted since I was a kid, and I would, get some black clothing, but I would, wear some, well, not bright clothing, but colors. I still wear colors though. The thing is about goth, you can wear colors. That doesn't matter. It wasn't until 2016, and I went to an IMX show. Now, IMX is a band that I'm sure a lot of goths would argue if it's goth music or not, but it's electronic music, and goths like it. So I went to an IMX show, and I saw it was a sea of black, all these alternative people, goth people and whatnot. We were all dancing, having so much fun, and we were leaving the venue, and I'm just like, I love it. Like, this, I need this in my life. This is like the perfect atmosphere. I had been to concerts before this, but nothing like this. So that was like what I consider my Goth Awakening in terms of the goth subculture. And after that, I'm pretty sure I went on YouTube, found some goth YouTubers, and that's when I found out that there was music attached, and shockingly, I had already been listening to it for a few years. This made me very happy, and I was like, wait a minute. That means that I'm a goth. I like dark fashion, I like dark music, I love concerts. Well, perfect subculture to get into, and that's what I did. But I did it extremely slowly. I didn't just wake up one day going, you know what? I listen to goth music, I need to look like a trad goth all of a sudden, or a full-on romantic vampire goth, whatever. There's nothing wrong with like immediately getting into an aesthetic. The problem is if you suddenly just one day you're dressing like, let's say, kind of dark, like you wear black clothes, but then the next day you're like, nope, I'm goth, so I'm gonna do full trad goth. I need to have all the corsets and chokers and everything perfectly. That's just unrealistic. And it kind of seems that way now in modern times, where you'll see teenagers on TikTok and they're like fully decked out trad goth. And I mean, I don't know their lives. I don't know how long they've been into this subculture. They could have been into it since they were 12. But a lot of times it comes across as you need to be established. And frankly, that's unrealistic. And also promotes consumerism. So, goths do buy things. I know a lot of people will say, oh, goths are against that. But let's be real. Goths have always liked things and we buy things. But what we need to keep in mind is that you have to be mindful of overconsumption. So you don't want to just be like, well, you know, goths wear chokers and rosaries and fishnets and just suddenly, and what at one point, just buy all that at once. Especially not on fast fashion sites. I have always been big on thrifting, and goth has always been big on thrifting and DIY. And the thing about thrifting and DIY is you cannot get an instant look from doing those things. Thrifting takes a lot of time, a lot of experience, and a lot of days of finding absolutely nothing. And DIY takes, you have to learn how to do these things. I suggest literally just taking things apart or just watching YouTube tutorials. Like, there's lots of goths out there and punks who share their skills and stuff. But again, that takes time to learn, or takes time in general, like thrifting. It takes time where you literally just will not find things right away. So the idea that people put out that, or not, people don't necessarily put out the idea that you have to look this way. But in my opinion, if everybody you're seeing online getting touted as like goth looks like that, and no one's really talking, and everyone's saying don't buy fast fashion, don't do this, but they look like they have so much stuff, like it gets really confusing. And I understand that, because that was how I felt back when I was getting into it. And I was like, well, you know, I had no money. I had no money when I was in my 20s. And even if I wanted to, I couldn't just buy a whole goth wardrobe. So I spent years slowly finding things. And I'm not saying it's like this is going to take you like 5 years minimum to look goth, because that's just not true. I personally I'm already kind of casual. I mean, I don't look it right now. This is a pretty extra look for me. But I'm pretty casual in my fashion anyway, and my appearance. So it took me longer, and that's okay. You can literally look goth within a week. Because all you have to do is put on a black dress, put on a little bit of dark makeup, and you're goth. Because you're goth before that too, if you're listening to the music and partaking in the community. I'm kind of rambling. This kind of makes no sense, but I don't have a script or anything. I never have scripts, but I hope this is making sense what I'm saying. But yeah, the point of this video is to help you in your journey getting into the style and doing it mindfully. without over consuming and buying fast fashion things. So I'm guilty of buying fast fashion. Like, I'm not gonna sit here acting like I'm not gonna be like a hypocrite, be like, don't do this thing. All I can say is don't do large hauls at once. Don't buy like 20 plus things at once, even 10 plus, even 5 plus things. What I would do, I try to stop entirely now, because I'm like, no, I don't need to do this. Like, this isn't really my vibe anyway. Like, I love thrifted things, I love vintage things. So I'm personally trying to steer clear of like anything new other than like underwear or something that I need, you know what I mean? But I just want you to mindfully consume. Let me just get into the rest of the video, because getting into the ethics of this can be really difficult, because again, I'm going to say thrift everything you can. Try and thrift. But sometimes you will buy things that are not thrifted, and that is okay. Don't promote it as the thing to do. And yeah. And when you do if you do buy things new, wear them to death. So try and be mindful in what you pick. With all of that said, I'm going to go into the basics. So what I'm wearing right now is not like basic. It is this like 80s dress and this hat and this all this stuff. Like, this isn't going to be stuff that you're going to instantly thrift. I got this at an antique store, and this dress the other day actually, so that was like a lucky thing. I found them at once. But you know, I'm 31, I've been goth, I never found anything like these before, so you can like do the math that it's not like, oh, this is just lucky I found it instantly. No, it technically took me years to find this, and you never really know what piece might stick out to you. That's the beauty of thrifting, is you can find something and be like, I've never thought about this before, but this looks interesting. I always recommend trying on things. You look at something, you say, I'm not sure about this, try it on. Thrift store doesn't have changing rooms. Mine don't. You know what I do? I dress accordingly. I wear things that I can try things over, and I try it on in front of a mirror. It can be embarrassing. I am honestly too old to care. If you're young, I understand it might be too embarrassing. So I guess some thrift stores have like return policies. You can just buy something and bring it back, which is annoying. It's usually exchange where I am, and that's the stupidest thing, which is why I try on things. But there can be some like roadblocks when it comes to trying things on. But what I personally do is I just try it on, even if it's weird. I don't care. I tried on this dress in the middle of the antique store. I just put it on. I'm rambling again. Okay, what did I say? Okay, basics. The basics. So not how I look right now. Things that you will 100%, maybe not 100%, but you will most likely find at a thrift store. So, first thing that I'm going to talk about are slip dresses and slips. Let me go grab some pieces. Slips basically are things that people wear under their clothing and things that people wear to bed and stuff. So what I have here, I have this one. I didn't have to thrift. This is something my mother had in the 90s and then gave to me in sometime in the 2000s. I did not fit it. I don't know why she gave it to me. She just didn't want it anymore. But it's a Victoria's Secret slip dress. Now, I'm going to just be honest and say you're not going to find this in thrift stores very easily. I've never found anything like this in a thrift store, so this is kind of like an unrealistic find. Not the most impossible, it is just a basic like red slip dress, but you probably won't find vintage 90s Victoria's Secret, because that's something people want. But you might find like an off-brand, like something else, another slip dress in red. A more realistic thing to find would just be a basic black one. Like this is kind of a similar cut. And it's not floor length. I think it goes just above my ankle, I think. And I thrifted this years ago. This is something very realistic. And this is a very like 90s vibe, and that's always my go-to. And slip dresses are going to fit that the best. These things you will just find. You will find them, and they will usually be much cheaper than anything else. Like than like regular dresses. Little slip dress. This is a little harder to wear as just a dress. It's a little sheer, but you can still get away with it, especially if you wear another slip like underneath. It'll be fine. And I personally love wearing white. And this is definitely a vintage slip dress. And this one is very like this lace and stuff, like you see right through it. And what I do is I layer other slip stuff like skirts and stuff underneath it. This one's shorter with some lace, and these are going to be one of the easiest and cheapest ways to look goth. Like obviously white can be harder. You might want to just stick to black at first. It's with this lace, it's really sheer, and this is one thing I'm going to show how to layer something underneath it to really make it look goth. And honestly, when I layer this piece, and it's long, it goes down to my ankles, and when you layer this with something else, it instantly makes it look like it's from a goth brand. And that's the beauty of slip dresses. They're made with lace a lot of times, and they just instantly look gothic. Okay, I'm gonna have to change my camera to this angle. I'm sorry about that, but it's the best way to show my outfits, so I'm gonna film like this to show off how I layer things. Okay, here's one of the slip dresses. It's just a very simple one, and as you can see, maybe it's not like the most goth thing you've ever seen. I have just the basic fishnets and the little Mary Janes, but again, this is like very minimal accessorizing. So it already looks a lot different, but all I did was add a plain black cardigan and a little belt. The belt can add a lot to that goth silhouette. So this is just a little belt with grommets, and if you can wear like a longer belt like this, and you see how it has all this excess. You can do that, and then you can like get a safety pin and then safety pin it closed, because it's annoying when it just flaps about. So you can do that too. I do have this belt that's for some reason really, really short, and that doesn't happen. But yeah, you can, like I said, any grommet belt can work. You can just safety pin it, or even tie it with like a twisty tie thing, like closed. Yeah, but you see how this is like instantly pretty goth. Casual, but it works. Okay, next up, this I didn't show, but it's this like skin tight red dress, and I'm not gonna show all of it on camera. It's a bit much. I usually layer over it. So I'm gonna show you a couple things that I put over this red dress, and I thrifted this one time with the idea of layering over top of it. So this is one of these slip dresses that I showed, and originally it was just see-through lace, but adding that red dress underneath it instantly makes it into a gothic dress. And yeah, it's really simple, honestly. So I didn't do much, just added a necklace. That is the one that I painted with red nail polish and thrifted, and then put these arm warmers. I'm a big supporter of arm warmers. I think they really add to outfits. So these are just ones I found at Walmart during Halloween time, but honestly you could find some just basic tights with a pattern on them, and then just cut them and sew them tight. But like, again, that's for the future DIY times. But yeah, really like it. And again, I'm just wearing the Mary Janes and fishnets. You can really just wear the same shoes and tight combo over and over and over again, and jewelry and accessories, and just change the outfit. Okay, I don't have any like slip tops like made of like the similar material. They exist, but I don't have anything like that, like tank tops or whatever. But I do have a lot of slip skirts, and I especially love wearing these in the summertime because they're so thin and they just feel cool to the touch already. So this is like, to me, a summer staple for goths. And then it also is good for layering, and you can also just wear it as is, depending on how sheer it is. So I have one here that's really short. Just a little slip skirt. I wear it a lot in the summer, just as is, because it's honestly not too sheer. Like, look, can we see through this? Not as much. So this one I wear as is, and I'll even wear a band t-shirt with it in the summertime. Honestly, I probably have too many slip skirts. This is not working in what I'm talking about. Shouldn't consume too much at once, but I really did get these over years, and I have literally like banned myself from buying any more slip skirts. But they're just this easy to find. I have one that's like medium length, lace at the bottom. They're always like under $5. I've never gotten any slip skirt that's more than $5. Usually get them for around like $4 something. A lot of them I get for like $2 or $3. But this one has like a slit in it. Very sheer. It's a little harder to wear. This one also has a slit in it. I do try to find more unique. You can't tell in the camera, but this one also has like a slit, but then it has lace on it. I wore this to a Depeche Mode concert. But then you can also, again, to go with the Ghost Goth looks, I got this long white one with lace, short white one with lace, and this one is a little hard to style by itself. It's really bright red with lace. This one I use usually to like layer and have like a peak of color showing underneath like a skirt or dress. My number one advice is slip dresses, slip skirts. They are cheap, easy to find, and don't take up too much space in a drawer. That's important. Because if you have some other like gothic pieces, they can get bulky. Okay, the next pieces that I recommend, so just like slip skirts and slip dresses, these are going to be in the pajama sections usually, so they're going to be cheaper. And that's lingerie. And since this video is for baby bats, I just want to clarify that I don't really think that if you're under 18 you should be wearing lingerie, because usually it's risque, you know, and unless maybe you can get something like this and layer it a lot to be more modest, I wouldn't really recommend lingerie until you're a little older. But yeah, with that said, lingerie is pretty easy to find and pretty cheap. So I have this piece that I noticed is actually falling apart, and I really need to sew it and fix it. And again, you starting out in your goth fashion journey might not know how to sew or anything like that, and I say learn how to do it if you're able, because not everyone's able. So learning how to mend things is extremely important, because not everything you find is going to be in perfect condition, and you don't want to pass up on something that's really cute just because it's a little torn. So this is just like this beautiful red, and it's lace, and it's really good for layering, and I thrifted it cheap. It might have actually even been in the underwear section. It's a bodysuit, and again, this is also a bodysuit thing with like lace. And see, stuff like this, like instantly it kind of just automatically looks like a goth piece. That's why these are like some of the easiest things to really look goth with, is because it already has like lace and stuff and intricate designs, and it's cheap. So I love this shirt. It's beautiful. And it's not supposed to look like that. It's a tie that ties it in the back. Yep. But again, this is all pretty revealing, so you're either gonna layer it up or wear it in the summer. I wear it in the summer usually. Here's one of the lingerie tops and a slip skirt. And I didn't do anything else to accessorize, but it looks pretty good already. The Mary Janes. Okay, so this one's a little more extra, but if you want to go for like a more romantic look anyway, you probably want to have pieces like this. So I have some long black mesh gloves, and added my black beads and this lace choker. You can just get a piece of lace ribbon and safety pin it at the back, and you have a choker. I added this little lace cover-up thingy. You can't see it very well, but it's really pretty. I got this off ThredUp. So again, a really cheap lingerie top, a really cheap slip skirt, and you have a pretty elegant look. Okay, let me think. Something else is a staple. Okay, I know. Velvet. Okay, I have some velvet pieces here. velvet pieces of clothing. All thrifted, of course. Everything I'm showing you is thrifted. I'm not going to show you something I didn't thrift. I almost have nothing that I didn't thrift clothing-wise. A lot of times if I didn't thrift something, it's jewelry, because jewelry is extremely hard to thrift, and I'm not even going to pretend to tell you that you can find your entire gothic jewelry collection by thrifting, because you kind of can't. Unless you live in maybe an area where goths are giving away chokers and stuff. Something you're either going to have to like DIY yourself or buy it somewhere. I started making my own chokers, that's what I did. And I've been happier ever since. And I do have some videos of me making those chokers, so if you do want to make your own chokers, that's actually something pretty accessible for a newbie, because when I was making those chokers, I have a video of me making chokers. I didn't really do anything like that before. Okay, tangent over. Velvet, whether it's black or blue or red or green. This is blue velvet. It's so dark. Oh, you can see there. Blue velvet's gonna be harder to find, along with red velvet. This is a top, and this is also very 90s whimsy goth. Like, deep colors like this are good with like a whimsy goth style. That's one of my styles. There's like a sea of black down here. I don't know what's going on. It's velvet. It like absorbs light, so it's like the blackest of the black that you can have. That's why it's very goth. What am I even looking at? Oh, this is the top. Velvet. It's basic tank top. This dress is a good example because most people are going to be like, what the hell, I wouldn't wear that. That's weird. It's just plain black. Very long. Very soft. This one's soft. It's not crushed velvet. This has like nothing going for it. And this one I will specifically style and show you how I make it look off. See, this is my style. If you aren't into like this, I definitely do more romantic 90s goth. So I'm sorry if that's like not your style, but you can make all these pieces also work in like an 80s look, or even maybe modern. The thing about modern is, what's modern goth? Like right now, modern goth is giving very 80s. It's like trad goth inspired, so modern goth is like kind of confusing because we kind of keep styles. Like, we don't go, that's out of style, no one wears that. It kind of just is always goth. It's like always good. And that's one of my favorite things about goth, because one example is high-low skirts. They were in the 2010s popular, and now I've seen a lot of people hate on them, but you know who I see rocking them? Goths. Anyone could, honestly. I don't like the idea that things are out of style, because then it's when people start throwing it away or donating en masse, and then no one wants it and it gets thrown away. Not good. So I'm against things going out of style. In goth, it doesn't happen as much. At least in my mind it doesn't, because I don't think it. I don't look at somebody and think that's dated. That'd be really silly. That'd be so silly. No one does that in goth. Maybe bullies, but we don't like bullies anyway. Okay, this is the plain black velvet dress. And, I mean, it's cute on its own. I paired it with the pikes, but still, like, plain. So, let's accessorize it to goth it up. What I did here was I added a mesh top underneath to make it look like the long sleeve dress. And then I added plain velvet choker. This crucifix that I got it from my mom. You could probably find it at antique store. And these chains, this waist belt from the antique store. And then what I did to kind of add something to it and not just be plain black velvet, I had this mesh shawl that I just kind of folded up into the belt, and it added this effect. I hope you can see it. It's hard to tell in the camera, but yep. And it kind of adds this little flowing bit. Simple but unique. No one else is going to have this because it doesn't exist as one piece. The next thing that's important to goth up your look is lace. And lace is pretty popular, so you're going to find it. I find a lot of lace. This is a lace dress, and it does come with an underdress. I took it out, but here, just this long sleeves, kind of a boat neck. This is just literally just a plain lace black dress. I also have this, again, because I like to do white. I got this at a local thrift store. This honestly is probably going to be a little harder to find, but I do see things like this from like the 2010s. It was kind of popular, and it's just white, see-through. What's important is to have some things to put under, so this is where the white slip dresses come in handy. Just flowing lace. Well, here we have one of the lace dresses, and that's it. Oh, and I got the goth pikes on, but sure, it looks pretty goth, honestly, but let's add some accessories and goth it up. Okay, sorry I'm not having like rings or anything, but you can always add rings. All I did was, like I said earlier, that you can literally just have a ribbon, and then I have chain from the antique store, cross from the antique store, and this little chain belt. I also got this at the antique store, so just adds a little bit more to the outfit. Now I do have white chokers, but I made them, but you can always just add dark accessories with this, and I think it looks really good. Okay, I think I went a little too much into my own personal style here. A little weird for beginner goths, but yeah, it's weird. But I double layered these belts to look like a waist belt. This is a choker I just made. So again, this is not the best example. You can get things that are basically, I think, to cover up swimsuits, but pretty easy to find. Might be in the swimsuit sections. See this? Oh, you cannot see that. Oh, there we go. See that? And it's kind of like a shirt. It's kind of like a dress. I don't know. I kind of struggle to style it, so I'm gonna try and show you ways to style something weird like that. But again, if you have some piece that's a little weird, that makes it a little better for goth to be more creative. I also have this thing. It's also, again, like I said, you're gonna find this pattern more than pretty lace. Oh my god, why can't you see it when I do that? But yeah, you can find things like this, and they're good for layering. Okay, I layered over one of the fishnet dresses, and I put this belt at my waist, at my hips, and I pulled up the dress a little bit to give it like a drop waist effect. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah. Then I just have my combat boots, and I have these little fishnet gloves I made out of socks. You just, cut the feet off, put little finger holes, and you're good to go. And of course, layered a lot of the same jewelry over and over again. You notice it isn't like too boring doing the same thing over and over again if you change up silhouettes and stuff. So yeah. Okay, this next thing I only have a couple of items to talk about. Black skirt. Goes all the way down to my ankle. And this is going to be very important if you want to do this extra of looks. I don't know, you can also do short skirts. That's just, I really need to talk about that. You're going to find black short mini skirts and stuff. You're going to find that thrifting. And you can also get a tiered skirt. This is very popular with all girlies in general, but yep, it has tiers, and it's like a jersey material. It's soft, easy to style. And now this is one of the long black velvet skirts, and you can see why I say that babybats who are not adults should not wear this kind of stuff. I'm going to accessorize it. Okay, I brought the hat back out and added the black beads. And this rosary, I have it kind of just hanging like this, so that just the crucifix is higher up. But you can safety pin the chains back here to keep it secure. I've worn it like that a few times to have it like this. Right now it's just hanging, but yeah. Then I just have this grommet belt as a waist belt to separate the two pieces. And I wore these fishnet arm warmers. Now, again, you can just get fishnet tights and convert them into this, or wear a fishnet like underneath this for a little bit more modesty, or a mesh top. But yeah, this is what I decided to do. You start with these pieces that are pretty good, but yeah, it's all about the accessorizing. Even if you don't have that good of stuff, or you don't have a lot, like you can just wear these kinds of things over and over and over again, and it doesn't matter. I'm sorry I suddenly look different, but my camera ran out of space, and I also realized that I forgot to film one of the parts of the video, so I'm gonna do that right now. So it's mesh, and because a lot of, unfortunately, fast fashion brands like Forever 21 and H&M produced a bunch of mesh in like the 2010s, I guess it was popular. You can pretty much find it while thrifting. Maybe not every time, but it's common enough that I have a good amount that I've thrifted. And this kind of stuff is perfect for the layering, and it's good for, I guess, the summer. I honestly don't wear it too much in the summer because it can be sweaty. But yeah, just plain mesh. Looks crazy in the camera, but you know, mesh. And this is a dress that actually my sister gave me, but she got it at Plato's Closet. So you can also get stuff at consignment shops that'll be pricier. But what I really want to recommend is just tops, plain tops like this. And I can't remember if I got this at Plato's Closet or ThredUp. I thrifted this at a thrift store, and like I said, it's H&M. So, and this one has ruching on it. I got this one that's blue. I thrifted this at a thrift store. Yeah, so you can have fun colors too. But yeah, mostly black is what you should look for. My kitty is hitting against the camera tripod. You haven't been in my videos before, Marty. Look, he's got a Batman mask that's broken. He's gonna be held. His name's Marty, and he just turned 12 in April. But he's forever a baby. He's a little kitten, man. He's like, put me down. Now this outfit is the same red underdress with a mesh dress overlaid. And I kept it minimal with the accessories, just a rosary. Because at this point we don't have that many pieces, right? And the belt and combat boots. Again, you could put on some rings, some bracelets, whatever you have. They don't even have to look gothic. Just accessorizing, even if it's not like goth looking pieces, really, really helps elevate an outfit. I personally am not much of an accessorizer because I don't like stuff on me, which is why I go for like the arm warmers and stuff, because they're not as annoying as bracelets, but you can do whatever you want. I'm just trying to show basic. Yep. These things were popular in the 2010s, and you might not want that kind of vibe, but something like this is a mesh cover-up for like either bathing suits or just anything, but you can style it suits. Mesh is pretty easy to find. I mean, I thrifted this not that long ago. Again, if you're starting out, you might want a plain black mesh cover-up, or just plain black cardigan in general. Pretty easy to find. Now this one is long, but you can easily find plain black cardigans. I personally love them because when you get a little chilly, just put on a plain black cardigan. I guess you could also do hoodies and sweaters and stuff. I personally prefer, oh my god, I personally prefer little cardigans. But yeah, that's kind of up to you, what you're gonna wear over things. I really wanted to say that you should look at something, and if you like it, do not worry if it's goth, if you think others will find it goth, because if you like it, you think it's dark enough, you should get it because it's what you want, not what others think. That's honestly the best way to build your own style. so I incorporated one of the mesh cover-ups. And this one with the white flowers I thought was really pretty with the white slip dress. So under this white slip dress, I have one of the white slips because this is too see-through without it. The top part's fine. Because the white bra, you can't even like tell, but I added this little belt. Just simple accessories. And this can be tied. Covers everything, so I kind of like it better like this. And you might not think of this as very gothic, but you know, it's pretty ethereal. I listen to a lot of ethereal waves, so this is why I like to do looks like this. Okay, these things are not going to be as easy to find, but this is something I think you should keep, I want to say you should keep a lookout for anyway, is pieces of clothing that are not goth brands, but they kind of look like they would be. So this is just an express tank top. I think it was like a workout piece. And it has these grommets, these metal grommets on it. And it's pretty plain, but like look at it. Like a goth brand could have made that. So keep an eye out on like metal details. And this piece, again, this is, you're not going to find this, but I'm telling you to look out for things like this. So this is a skirt with a zipper. It's literally like a zipper running along. So again, you're not going to find a zipper skirt or something. Maybe. I'm just telling you to keep a lookout for pieces with like metal details, because that can give goth pretty easily. Okay, these are two pretty random and plain pieces, but it's just the black shirt with the grommets and the tiered maxi skirt. Let's add something more. Now, something I hope you could find would just be a basic black jacket, because that would go with like everything. And these are just some little shades I thrifted one time. So I added a waist belt and some necklaces, and my sister's being loud in the background, sorry. But yeah, see, this black coat like can make anything look gothic. It's a little bit of a low-key outfit. Kind of like basic black pieces. The inside is kind of wild, but it's black and white, so it's still cool. Now this is the very obvious basics, and it's tights. So you can just get some floral patterned tights, or tried and true fishnet tights. Now these you can thrift. I've thrifted a lot of these, but I've also just gotten them at regular stores. And then with fishnets like this, you can cut a hole and you can wear it as a shirt. And I'll try to do a look with some shirts like that, but those are gonna be like, they're gonna give you a more like death rock trad goth look. That's what you want to go for. Once you're a little more established and you know what bands you like the most, you can go to their shows and get their merch at the shows, or go on their websites and find their merch. I got this shirt, damn shirt, at a concert I went to this month. I guess they're also a punk band, but they're also goth. So that's like the gothest thing you can wear, is a band, goth band shirt. But say you either you can't find where to buy the merch of the band, like give them money directly, or you just want to make your own shirt, you can do that. And that's something that I do have some DIYs of, and I will have more in the future. So this is something a little more complicated. Just get basic plain t-shirts or tank tops. I have tank tops. I like to make tank tops for the summertime because shirts are already in t-shirt form. The reason why I make these is because I want tank tops. So you can make your own band shirt. London After Midnight. And that's with a stencil that I cut out. And then I painted it with fabric paint. I do have short videos of me making these. But yeah, this is Frozen Autumn. Okay, this one is supposed to be like chill, casual. So I just have my combat boots, but then I have these two layered slip skirts and I have this red one for a pop of color. I don't know, I added this belt. It's kind of a weird low belt, but got the fishnet tights made into a shirt. Another band tee with a slip skirt. This is a pretty good summer outfit. Very simple. Definitely going to be wearing stuff like this in the summer heat. While I think it's actually kind of impossible to find chokers like this secondhand, which you can find very easily while thrifting, are necklaces. So I have these just black pearl necklaces. These are pretty easy to find. If you go to an antique store especially, there'll be like millions of these things, and if you just want to be decked out in it, easy to do. So you can wear whatever you want. You do not have to wear crosses at all if you don't want to. You can wear something, well, I don't wear this because of religion. Like, I don't care about religion. I'm kind of going for like the blasphemous part of wearing crosses, you know? Like, I just wear them because I think they look cool. And Goths do love them. That's why I wear them. But you absolutely do not need to wear crosses or crucifixes or any religious symbols. But yeah, this I got at an antique store and I just put it on a chain. Instantly goths up a look. If you want crosses, you'll notice most of my vibe is crosses. But you can also wear plain chain. I got this at the antique store too. And this is black with silver on it. And you can also just have plain silver necklace. But then you can also have rosaries. I have some rosaries that I got from my mom. This black one she didn't give me. I think I had to get it off eBay. But then I also have this cross necklace that I got at the thrift store, and it was silver, but then it had yellow jewels. And what you can do if you see a necklace and you do not like the jewels on it, you can just paint them with nail polish, and you cannot tell, but this is red now. I do have a video of me doing this DIY, and literally just nail polish on jewels. Of course you want to make sure that it's just like cheap jewels. You don't want to do that to like fancy, but you're probably not going to find fancy jewels at the thrift store. So that's a really cheap and easy DIY. Nail polish. But yeah, you can wear like just basic like velvet chokers like this. I think that's fine. Okay, I think I've gotten through like most of the important stuff. I just want to touch on shoes real quick, because shoes can also be like one of the most complicated things to find if you're kind of expecting to have like the full like platform look and stuff. So I'm going to recommend some shoes that are comfortable and you can find secondhand. A couple of these are from a thrift store and a couple I got off eBay. That's probably going to be my most recommended is shoes. If you want something specific, you can look it up online. But it's not impossible to find black shoes in a thrift store. My number one recommendation for a goth shoe, it's like combat boots, but I really, really think that you should get real leather, because fake leather falls apart and it's really annoying and it can flake off and all this other stuff. The thing about these is I got these off eBay secondhand. They're Steve Madden, I think. Yeah. Here's what I think makes these the perfect shoe. The reason why these are perfect shoes is because, for one, the leather, like, these aren't gonna fall apart, but they're also really good to wear in the summer. It's kind of weird, but they're so breathable. I'll be sitting in my car, and it'll be really hot, and I'll feel the air going through the boot into my feet. It's wonderful. So these are actually good summer boots somehow. I do wear them in winter too, because, you know, kind of crazy, but you can wear thicker socks. They also have a platform, but this is a realistic platform. So they give me a couple inches, but I never ever feel like I'm gonna fall over. You can go get your platforms. I'm not gonna tell you not to. My dream is to own new rocks one day. I don't, but I really want to, and I think one day I would probably invest in it. But when I'm willing to part with $300, and I'm not willing to part with that much money for shoes, but maybe one day. But you don't have to do that. You don't even have to part with $100, because those Steve Madden shoes were like 50 something, maybe around 60, but for real leather shoes, they were a good find. So another style of shoe, Goths love, and this is something you're not gonna thrift. They're just, they're goth pikes. I got these off eBay like years ago for like under 40 bucks. They got the, you know, gothic pike winkle picker look to them. You don't need to have this exact style. You can also just find plain pointy shoes. Here's some very like basic shoes I thrifted. I think it's gonna be easier for you to find. If you're gonna wear dresses and long dresses and long skirts and stuff, these little basic boots. So you can get a pair with square toe. I like the square toe, but it's kind of a rounded square toe because I love the 90s. And these are real leather ankle boots, but these I found in a thrift store. Just little Mary Janes. These are probably like newer brands, like from not that long ago. I can tell they were like nice enough quality. They weren't gonna fall apart immediately. Those are good. I found those at a regular thrift store. Well, I think that's all I'm gonna talk about. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it gives you a more realistic idea of how to start your goth wardrobe as a baby bat, whether you're a teenager or an adult. It doesn't matter when you start out. I started out in my 20s. Some people start out older, younger. It doesn't matter because we're all goth at the end. Well, hopefully. It's okay to not find your style right away. It's okay to not own everything black. It's okay to take years, and I mean years, to get your dream wardrobe. I do not have my dream wardrobe. There's so many things that I see that I'm like, that is so me, but I don't have it. Maybe I'll have it one day. Maybe I'll have it when I'm 40. It doesn't matter, because I would like to get there one day. Like, I want to go through my journey and one day either thrift it or maybe I'll get it online, you know, depending. But I just don't want to have it all at once. Be mindful in your consumption. Try and thrift. Try and learn to DIY. Listen to all kinds of gothic music, especially different genres. Don't only listen to the same bands everyone tells you. Bauhaus, Susie, love them. Branch out, especially. That's like probably the best advice. Branch out in your musical interests. You don't only have to listen to goth music. That's silly. I mean, if you look at my music wall over here, I literally have like so many bands that are not goth. Like, it's actually mostly not goth bands. I hope this video is helpful, even just a little bit. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.